Hi everyone, today I'd like to share how I use Twitter as an educational tool in my classroom. It really can be used as an effective tool if the boundaries are expressed to the students and to the teachers that are using it. So I just wanted to share with you all how I use that in my classroom. Today we're basically going to talk about three main things: the uses of Twitter, which can be twarm-ups or reminders. Reminders are pretty self-explanatory, so we're going to mainly focus on twarm-ups today. Also the procedures that are put in place for the twarm-ups and the expectations of the students and the teachers. So twarm-ups, what are they? They're daily warm-ups that the students will see on the board or on Twitter. They can be completed either online or using a tweet sheet, so that those individuals who do not have a personal device or do not have access to one at school can still participate and feel included in the assignment. The next section we're going to talk about is going to be procedures. So the first procedure that is in place is that students will always tweet their answers to me using my username. So whenever they go onto Twitter, they will go up into the right-hand corner that has the feather looking icon. They'll click on that and then type at BMS Larson, and then they will type their specific answer to the question. They will also use a specific hashtag that is searchable if you go to the Twitter search section. Now, a little hint for this is that you need to be creative when you're using your hashtag, because if you're using something that a lot of people use, then you can't really filter your students' responses with the rest of the world. So you just have to kind of be careful with that. Also, students must reply to at least one other student that's in their class or in another class, so they can find another student's answer by searching for the hashtag, or if they follow that individual, it will automatically come up on their feed, and then they can respond saying good job, or maybe you should consider this other element, or maybe you should try again. They're actually really good about doing that, because that's just another way that they can interact through the media instead of just doing it in the classroom setting. They can also retweet their favorites, which is something that a lot of students choose to do. It also shows support with the other individuals in the classroom. The teacher, on the other hand, will favorite all of the students' responses for grading purposes. So that is just an easy way to show that I have seen each of the students' responses. And also the most in-depth and accurate answers from the students will be retweeted, which you can see on my feed. So it'll just post that I retweeted it. And students like seeing their name. It's just basically the same thing as if you put their work out in the hallway, except this is for the world to see. Now, the benefits that go along with this is that it's applying social media knowledge in an educational setting. Students love to use Twitter, Facebook, any of those types of social media outlets. So they really enjoy using this in the classroom, and it creates buy-in because it's something that they are already familiar with. And a lot of people aren't using it as of right now, but it's a tool that's underutilized, but it could really be used for a lot of purposes if done so correctly. And plus it's fun, just on top of that. Now, student expectations are very high with using this. The only site that they can be on, or app, during this time is going to be Twitter. If they are found using a different app, then they will be reprimanded appropriately. But luckily, we haven't had very many issues with this since the beginning of the year when I started doing that. Also, their twarm-up has to be completed within the first 3 minutes of class. That just shows efficiency, so they log in, go ahead and type up their answer, submit it, and then they're done. So they'll then put their iPad or iPhone or mobile device at the corner of their desk, lay it face down so that it's still out in the open, but they're not trying to sneak and use it. Just makes it a lot easier for the teacher to go around and check. Also, students must use school Wi-Fi. That way that our firewall can detect any inappropriate things that are coming up through Twitter. And also, on top of that, which this is the big thing, one misuse from one student loses the privilege for the entire class. That may sound a little bit harsh, but it actually is a good way for students to encourage each other to follow the rules and to do what's expected. They know that this is a privilege, it's not a right. So whenever they use Twitter in the classroom, they're focused and ready to move on to the next thing when necessary. Also, so that you don't end up looking like this individual, there are some teacher expectations that need to be set forth at the very beginning. First thing is that you need to make a professional account that is going to be completely separate from your personal account. Now, this will save you a lot of headaches in the long run because you really don't want the students to have access to anything that you've previously posted, maybe a few years ago, or even if it was a couple of weeks ago. It's just better to keep things separate from your personal to your professional life. Now, also, don't follow the students back. Just like you don't want them learning about your personal life as much, we don't need to learn about what they do with their personal lives. That just kind of is an invasion of privacy, and you really don't want to cross that boundary. Lastly, which is probably the most important part, is that you want to limit your communication with the students to only things that are related to school. You can really get yourself in a lot of trouble if you start talking to students about personal things on social media, especially if it's brought into the school setting. So just be careful of that, and if you follow these guidelines, I think you will really enjoy using Twitter within your classroom setting. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or send me a tweet. My contact information is listed on the screen. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and have a great day.